This is the first episode of the Telescopic World. In this episode, we will be discussing some ideas about how to assist the implementation of change to combat global warming. In recognizing that the general, that is, actions and decisions with global consequences, are symbolized by placeholders in the particular, as between two people with a common worldview. It becomes clear that the natural telescopic nature of reality exemplified by the natural psychic telescope as between subjects and receiver/transmitter, could be used to facilitate change on a global level, if reoriented. Essentially what I am saying is, we already know that between those with common worldviews there exists a link between the particular local decisions of some receiver and the decisions of some global actor within the international sphere. This generally forms between people with a common archetypal relationship to some transmitter in the particular, local, and subject in the general, global. But, this is a natural psychic telescope created by common associations shaped by a common worldview. In that, within the particular the objects of consciousness represent or symbolize objects of consciousness for the global subject. This tells us that we could artificially create the same link between two people who may have different or even contrary worldviews using a similar method to the psychic telescope. In the last episode, we gave an example of a structure, which would create a link between subjects and the transmitter/receiver. Specifically, we talked about a deck of two-sided cards. This deck of two-sided cards would be used to arrange on one side the associations of some subject and on the other side likes and dislikes of the receiver. The idea was, if you link the subconscious choices of the receiver to their symbolic global representations, you could artificially create the same link that is produced by a common worldview between a natural receiver and transmitter. Now, the same game could be replicated digitally between two users on different sides of the globe. The idea being to link two people who might, through this link and the corresponding coupling of decision-making, improve the choices of one by the other. Thus, in this example, we would use a subject who is more effective in making choices that combat climate change with a receiver who is less effective in that regard. But for all this to work, it would require a real-time monitoring of a person's carbon footprint. Thus, an app could be created with a few functions. First, it would monitor your real-time carbon footprint. Second, it would use that to create a climate rating. This climate rating would be used to pair you with someone with a slightly higher rating and higher global standing. Then, you would play a game by engaging in a psychic telescope with that other, linking your decisions in the particular to the other individual in the general. The app would have other features such as linking your real carbon emissions to their real impact globally. So for example, if you smoke a cigarette, it would display a digital tree, and it would cause the tree to wilt. This would work best with a mixed reality interface that you could actually see. Now the app could be designed as a dating app, thus, the linking of you to someone with a slightly higher climate rating would be for the purposes of romantic involvement. Linking the game of psychic telescope to part of the fun of the app. Anyway, I think this app could be a kind of mega app, financed by the government, designed to improve climate behavior. It would include a dating component, a game component, a carbon footprint monitor. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.